So we're going to start off with, I'm just going to paint the lightest colour I can see. I'm just going to put a ground. I'm just going to make this like a raspberry pink, which is the lightest pink that I can see in the image. So I'm going to try and get rid of the white of the page, just watering that colour down, spreading it all over, and then I dry it off with a hairdryer just to speed the process up. Okay, so the next colour I'm going to add is that sort of warm corally red colour. So I haven't got that colour, so I'm having to make it by mixing the red and a little bit of yellow in and watering that down. And then I'm just going to go in and put it where I know the shadows on the face are, also where I can see the red on the original picture, but I am using the more or less putting it everywhere apart from inside the eyes, which are going to stay light, and inside the mouth, which is where the teeth are. So I'm just going to cover the most of the page with this colour as well, but maybe leaving a little bit of the pink showing through. So just roughly going in, and because it's so painterly, I'm not really worrying about how scratchy my marks look or getting it smooth. So the next thing I'm doing is I'm taking the cool red and I'm going to create a shadow colour with that. So I'm just painting in things like the eyelids that I can see Jenny Saville, she's used like a dark red to do. So I'm just going in and putting in those sorts of details, redefining things like the nostrils and the outline of the mouth, the shadows on the mouth and under the chin, just to make it easier to see. And then I'm going in again with an even darker colour, more like a brown, which you can see that she's actually used as well to really define the facial features where the shadows are. So I'm putting that colour in. It's a little bit lighter than I want it to be, but I'm just going to go with it for now, see where we end up. And then I decided to block in things like the eyes just so it stopped looking so mask-like. So I didn't have the correct colour again, so I had to sort of play around with two blues to get a really dark, it's quite a cool dark blue, and just painted the whole of the eye area first of all with that blue, and then blocked in the whites of the eyes as well, which are actually quite a grey, bluey grey colour. So I put those bits in as well. So mixing a tiny bit of black with that light blue to get that sort of bluey grey. Put a little bit of a highlight on there as well with the white. Okay, it's still looking very strange. So it's just a case then of adding, so I'm adding the black for the pupils and then putting a little bit of the highlight in. And I try to sort of just use white paint to do that. Putting in the base colour for the lips now. Just a cool pink. So you can see that I'm building up to adding detail. So I've blocked all my colours in. I've got my darkest areas blocked in now. And now really all I'm doing is I'm looking to see where she's put specific colours, and I'm trying to match where those are. Adding in the black on the nostrils, and then the black inside the mouth where the shadow is cast onto the teeth and the inside of the mouth. And she has drawn with a little bit of black round the ear and by the jaw, so I've put that in too. Okay, so next I'm trying to add a little bit more into the eyes to create a more realistic shadow under the eyelid. And then I'll be also adding in the highlights on the eyes, hopefully making them look a little bit more realistic. So putting all the shadows into the eye. A bit of brown in there. So I'm just really looking carefully and seeing where she's put particular colours, and then just trying to mix those same colours. And, you know, it all starts to come together, but it takes time before it starts to look better. So again, I'm looking in each particular area, trying to match what I can see. Putting a bit of blue in, not quite the right blue, but we'll go with it. Here I'm adding the highlights with just some white. trying to match those shapes. It does make it look a little bit more realistic once you get the eyes in. And then I decided to block in some of the colour. So I'm looking for yellow now on the page. So I start off with the yellow I can see around the eyes. Some pink highlights on the eyelids. And then I'm looking to see where can I see that same colour. Where can I see the highlights? And I'm going to start putting those in. So I can see obviously the blues. I'm going to go around and see where I can see that blue everywhere on the face. And I do the same then with the yellow. So mixing a lighter yellow and putting that wherever I can see it on the face. Just hoping this whole thing is going to come together. Okay, still tweaking, still playing around with bits and bobs. Next, I'm looking at, there's like a nice sort of orangey colour that she's got in certain areas. So I'm putting that onto the nose, trying to match where that is. So lightening up the tip of the nose, some on the eyebrow. I'm just really trying to give the facial features a bit of dimension, because they sort of seem to emerge out of this mass of paint, don't they? So adding a little bit of tone now into the mouth because it's looking very strange and flat. More of that orange also going onto the mouth. Trying to blend that white blob in. And then a bit more dimension on the mouth with that sort of brown colour. Trying to get that mouth to really look like it's coming out of the page. Same with the nostrils, adding a bit of shadow on there. So it's all about trusting the process. It's all about not thinking, oh, it's rubbish, it doesn't look anything like it. It's about, you know, just keep plodding away at it. Keep trying to mix the colours that you can see. If you don't get it right, well, just try adding another little colour in there. Try to get it placed in the right place and keep working on those layers. And eventually you'll see that it will start coming together. That nose is really starting to come out now. Okay, just add a little bit more colour around the face. Trying to work on those lips with a bit of a warm red. Drawing in now using the red the darker red that she's used to draw in the facial features. Trying to bring this whole portrait together a bit more. Adding in the midtones. Just trying to match where I can see that orange. You can see it's starting to come together now, a little bit more. Adding some highlights into the lips. A little bit more highlight of yellow on the nose and on the mouth, around the eye. Really sort of drawing the eye to those places. Trying to go in and put that light white shape by the eye as well. I mean, and obviously this isn't like a photographic representation, it's a response. So we are just going for the best we can do basically by this point. Okay, so we're tweaking the teeth because I think they're not quite the right colour. They're a little bit too bright, but I'll come back to that. And then here I've realised that the mouth needs a little bit more of a pink tone, so I'm going to add that in. So again, I'm trying to tweak, add a little bit more to the lips to make them a little bit more pink and a little bit more vibrant. And then just tweaking and adding a little bit more of that pink everywhere. Just to make that mouth come out a little bit more. Bit of orange on the top of the lip, bit more on the nose. And then, yeah, trying to paint out a lot of that really strong colour I've added. And then that's it, I think, more or less. Or that's all the time I want to spend on that. But I hope you can see that by, keeping at it and trying to mix those colours, really playing around with it, I've ended up with something that's hopefully taught me a little bit more about how Jenny Saville uses her colour and how she creates her portraits, which is basically is the whole point.